Srinivas Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, धन्यवाद प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
दंडवत प्रणाम, प्रणाम, हरे कृष्ण। कैसे हैं आप दोनों लोग?
वी आर गुड प्रभु जी। हाउ आर यू
When
प्रभु
is when is your initiations planned?
जी? Actually, we got shelter from His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, Guru Maharaj Prabhu ji.
Please,
Only
please bless us प्रभु जी।
So do we know when Maharaj will give initiation?
they are saying after 6 months Prabhu ji, but based on service and all, they will be. Yes, Prabhu ji.
Since how long you both are chanting 16 rounds now?
Almost 2.5 years, Prabhu ji.
Same Mataji also?
Yes, Prabhu ji.
And you have enough services, association, everything settled over there?
Actually, Prabhu ji, we are close to one center, but we are connected to another center. That is the only issue, Prabhuji. We have to visit like monthly twice. It's far from our location, Prabhuji, but we are mostly connected on online.
And monthly twice, how far you have to drive?
30 kilometers, Prabhuji.
1 hour?
Yeah, 1.5 hour morning in 1.5 hour, and in the coming back it will be 2 hours plus, Prabhuji.
Wow.
Because traffic will be too much in the evening.
So you go twice a month
Yes, Prabhuji.
for Sunday feast or something?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay, I think things are going well, although some distance may be there, but I think it's still settled situation seems.
Yes, Prabhuji. Actually, we are studying those books which are required for. There are certain books listed down in the website. Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji.
What are the books?
Bhagavatam first canto.
Bhagavatam.
Bhagavatam first canto and Bhagavad Gita 2 times. Teachings of Mahaprabhu book, and then Prabhupada's autobiography, condensed version. Messenger of God. There is something, Prabhuji.
And
Bhakti
I think yes, Prabhuji. I did not see that book, Prabhuji. What is the last book?
Sindhu, first 19 chapters.
Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu.
Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also, Prabhuji. You said something, Prabhuji. What was that?
First 19 chapters, right?
First canto.
19 chapters of which book, Prabhu?
Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu.
No. NOD completely, Prabhuji. Nectar of Devotion completely.
Really?
That book is small only, Prabhuji.
NOY is small, Prabhuji. NOD is big book.
I see that NOD is also.
NOD is big book, na Prabhuji. NOI is small book, na Prabhuji.
NOI is small.
Not that small, but it is as big
Like
as the life and teachings of Mahaprabhu. The same number of pages I see at least.
NOD is like Bhagavad Gita.
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. Maybe the kind of book I have, maybe font, it because of font, it is like medium.
Yeah. They have another smaller font also, which comes in a condensed.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Same content. Yeah, just like Bhagavad Gita also has a condensed form.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Yeah, because I think after 19 chapters is like it goes little bit difficult to understand. I don't know if you can check with like the website or the servant. But Mahavaraha Prabhu, right? He's a servant, right?
Who is that Prabhuji you are talking about?
Maharaj personal servant? Mahavaraha Prabhu? No, somebody else?
Who wrote that book, Prabhuji?
No, I'm asking name of Maharaj servant. Jayabadaka Maharaj servant.
Oh, okay, okay. I don't remember, Prabhuji. Sorry.
Anyways, it's good. Things are
Yeah,
progressing.
bless us, Prabhuji, to be strong enough in continuing and getting this initiation.
Yeah, very nice. This. Anywhere I can be of any service, please let me
Yes, Prabhuji, sure, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
know. Some guests came actually, they left. But then I asked Mataji to move to 10:15. So some may join at 10:15. So is it okay if we wait till then and start at 10:15?
Yes, Prabhuji, okay for us.
9 o'clock.
निरन्तरस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देव श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखम करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्री गुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरम्। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। So we are continuing our teachings on teachings of Lord Kapila to Mother Devahuti. The previous chapter described about the Bhakti Yoga, where Mother Devahuti expressed that I have been thoroughly cheated and being influenced by the illusory energy of the Lord. And how can I come out of this? What is the best way? And based on that, Lord Kapila explains the path of bhakti as the most suitable, easy, best way. And then um, attachment to sadhus is a cause of liberation, and attachment to asatsang is a cause of bondage. Sadhus have primary characteristics, and sadhus have secondary characteristics. Secondary characteristics is tolerance, merciful. Sadhus are tolerant, sadhus are merciful, and they are friend of all living entity. They have no enemies. They are peaceful, and they abide by the scriptures, and they read shastras. The primary characteristic of sadhu is that they are always surrendered to the Supreme Lord in all circumstances. Always depend upon Him. Primary characteristics. So in this way, the path of bhakti and how the association of sadhus, by following the process, uh, in association of sadhus, prema can be attained gradually. And then Devahuti was also eager to hear about other paths, which are not the topmost. Lord Kapila says that there are Gyan path, Yoga path also. They also can give liberation. May not be the highest form of liberation, but they can award liberation also. And the other path can attain success in their results only by the touch of bhakti in those paths. So bhakti is the underlying principle, but direct bhakti is the best and quickest way to attain perfection. So naturally, Devahuti understood the path of bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Sang, and everything. But she is also eager and curiosity. She has curiosity. She is eager to know about other paths also. The path of Gyan. Gyan is Sankhya. Sankhya means Sankhya basically means counting होता है ना. संख्या count करिए. इस कितना संख्या है इसका? We say. So Sankhya means how much. So Sankhya Yoga means you divide the whole material existence in elements, and you see everything through elements. Basically, this is a path of Gyan or speculation or Sankhya, or analytically understanding the constitution of this material world. That's Sankhya. And then there's path of yoga. So path of bhakti is described. This chapter describes the path of Sankhya or Gyan, and the next chapter describes the path of yoga. The previous chapter describes the path of bhakti. So in this way, Lord Kapila is dedicating one chapter to explain all the three processes in detail. And that's why, because this particular chapter deals with Sankhya, um, um, the name of chapter Prabhupada gives is Fundamental Principles of Material Nature. So this material existence, what is the fundamental principles of this? For analyzing this material existence. Okay. So first, Lord Kapila describes the benefit of this path and what one can attain. So through Sankhya, one can be freed from the influence of gunas, influence of material mode. That is very nice. See, through bhakti also we can go beyond guna. Through Sankhya also we can go beyond guna. Through yoga also we can go beyond guna. Because all three of them can give liberation. But yeah, the easiest we will see and the best path is the path of bhakti. No. But they all become liberated, but the destination is they may attain either Paramatma realization or they may attain Brahman realization or they may attain Sakshat Bhagwan. The realization is different. Through this path of Sankhya, one can attain perfection or self-realization and one can cut the knots of attachment to material world. See, attachment to material world, the knot of attachment, Hridaya Granthi, um, the heart is attached to so many things in this world. That has to be cut. For Bhakti Yogi, Bhagavatam says simply by remembering the Lord, that remembrance of the Lord act as a sword which cut the knot of material attachments. And Sankhya Yoga also and Ashtanga Yoga also. Um, yeah. So basic principles. So these are like required to attain liberation, going beyond the modes and cutting off knots of attachment to material world. So Sankhya can also give this. Okay. So first, uh, Lord Kapila describes about Jiva, Prakriti, Purusha. Um, we have seen this topic is discussed in Bhagavad Gita also, where the Jiva desires, the Prakriti executes, and Purusha sanctions. Um, it's a very technical chapter, and that's why it is called the Gyan Yoga. And we will cover this chapter in 2 weeks, this week and next week. Okay. So first, who is Purusha? Purusha is the Lord. Purusha means enjoyer. And what are the characteristics of the Lord or an enjoyer? He is Anadir. Anadir means he does not have a beginning. He is Paramatma or the super soul of all living entities. He is Nirguna means he is transcendental to the material modes eternally. He is Prakriti Para means he is beyond the material world. He can be perceived everywhere. He is self-effulgent, and then by him the entire creation is maintained. He maintains the entire creation, effulgent. He is present everywhere. Although he may come in this material world, he is always transcendental to this material world. He is always beyond the influence of karma and gunas. He is the Lord of all living entities and he is the original personality without a beginning. So characteristics of Purusha. Then um, uh, we will see various characteristics of various things will come. Characteristics of Prakriti, of Jiva, of Ahankar, of mind, of intelligence. their functions, and it's like slowly. This is analytical study, no? Or fundamental principles or Sankhya. So lot of analysis of lot of these elements will come in this chapter. Um, in Bhagavad Gita also, last 6 chapters, they have a touch of Gyan. It's a Gyan Mishra Bhakti. Three modes of material nature and other things are there. So understanding that helps us become uh, helps us to go beyond material attachments. So we discuss about Purusha, various qualities of Purusha. And Purusha, although he may seem to interact with Prakriti, how he may seem to interact with Prakriti, Krishna comes, Krishna walks on this planet, Krishna talks to people like Duryodhana and others. Krishna performs activities, he participates in war, killing Jarasandha. So in a way, he is involved with the material world. He seems to be living here for 125 years. So his interaction with Prakriti is just a pastime by his will. Means he when he comes and when he's dealing, when we do the same thing, killing Jarasandha or what Krishna does, we will be doing by the influence of modes. We will always be under the modes. But Krishna is acting maybe similar. But he never interacts. He's living, walking, acting in this world. Still, he never contact the three modes of material nature. Rather, it is only his pastime that he comes and he deals with this world. So he's always beyond, but externally he may seem to interact with the material nature, but he never does. In fact, another verse in Bhagavatam says that when Krishna comes, he is protected or he is covered by his own yoga maya. And because of that, no material elements can touch him. In fact, um, everything about Krishna is divya, transcendental. Um, when Indra was angry and he was pouring this rain from Samartaka cloud, Krishna did not become wet. Everybody like there's like columns of water falling, but Krishna was covered by his own yoga maya covering. So through yoga maya only the water is spreading away. Krishna clothes transcendental. Krishna clothes even didn't become wet. Nothing can happen to Krishna. Only by his own will Krishna may manifest. Like Bhishma Dev shot an arrow and Krishna starts to bleed. And this is like Krishna's own will that he may manifest some pastime in a certain way. But Krishna is always protected by his own internal potency. So he may seem to interact, but he is always beyond. Whereas the jiva, this is the like the distinction between jiva and purusha. Purusha is the Lord. Uh, we will discuss. Purusha may also mean jiva, but we will discuss further. But here, what we are discussing, that is Purusha or the Lord. We saw his characteristics, and we saw how he interacts with Prakriti, and that is just his pastime, and he's never in contact with Prakriti. But when jiva interacts with Prakriti, jiva becomes influenced by the Prakriti. When jiva sees the various how jiva becomes influenced, when jiva sees the various forms offered by Prakriti, the jiva becomes bewildered by avidya. Jiva starts desiring and jiva wants to enjoy. When the Lord sees Prakriti, the Lord is never touched by it, always transcendental. But when a jiva sees Prakriti, the various forms of Prakriti, jiva becomes covered by avidya, which is a knowledge covering feature. Jiva forgets who he is. And then Jiva develops a tendency to enjoy. In this way, Jiva becomes bewildered or influenced by Prakriti. That is the difference between Jiva and Purusha. Then another thing, how Jiva interact with Prakriti is Jiva thinks himself the doer of his activities. Conditions all things like that. Uh, I am very successful, I am a failure. Both are false ego. Um, I am good at it, I'm bad at it. False ego, everything. Jiva thinks himself the doer. Good thing Jiva does, Jiva becomes proud. Bad thing Jiva does, Jiva laments. In both the cases, Jiva is thinking he is the doer. So that is another way Jiva contact Prakriti. In first way, when Jiva sees the various forms offered by Prakriti, Jiva becomes covered by avidya and wants, like Prabhupada says, trying the living entity is trying to exploit the three modes of material nature. But by doing that, the living entity becomes further entangled within the three modes. So that's how Jiva with Prakriti is like Prakriti has captured the Jiva. But Jiva with Purusha or Bhagwan is like um, Bhagwan is covered and is never in contact with Prakriti and never influenced by Prakriti. And this identification of either oneself as the doer because of false ego, uh, ahankara vimudatma kartamiti manyate. Because of false ego, one thinks himself as the doer of the activities which are actually carried out by the modes of material nature. Prakriti kriyama, gunay karmani sarvasya, ahankara vimudatma kartamiti manyate. So because, yeah, so that's how Jiva interacts with Prakriti. And because Jiva becomes consumed or entangled and influenced by Prakriti based on Jiva's impression, uh, what Jiva is attracted to, which feature of which feature of Prakriti Jiva attracted to at the time of death, Jiva gets another birth and then another birth, and like this continues forever. So that's how Jiva is bound by Prakriti, but Purusha never comes in contact with Prakriti. Now, all the actions are performed by Prakriti. All the actions are performed by Prakriti, but the desire for action and the result of that action is is brought about by Purusha. But the action itself, the cause of Jiva's action is Prakriti. So there's something about Prakriti. Once again, the cause of Jiva's action is Prakriti. Cause of Jiva's action means, um, as we discussed in Bhagavad Gita, the Jiva only desires the Lord may sanction and Prakriti uh, brings into action. As a soul, we cannot do anything. Na? We are like 1/10,000th tip of a hair floating in the five kind of AS within the region of the heart, and we are helpless. We cannot move. We cannot walk. We are just floating. Minute, minute spirit soul floating, teeny in the region of the heart, and he does not induce, but rather it's the three modes which makes the body work. It's uh, this material world is Prakriti, and the body is also made of Prakriti. Yanta Urani Maya. The body is also made of Panch Mahabhutas, and the in charge of the Panch Mahabhutas is like in a way Durga Devi or Prakriti, or Maya Devi, and the body is made up of those Panch Mahabhutas also. So everything is interacted by this energy, external energy of the body. So action, the cause of action is Prakriti. The body, the senses, everything is made of Prakriti. Uh, false ego, we will see this, but just to give reference to this particular verse, false ego in mode of goodness creates mind. False ego in mode of passion creates intelligence. False ego in mode of ignorance creates earth, water, fire, air, ether. False ego in mode of passion creates senses also. And false ego in mode of passion creates intelligence and senses both. The sense object is false ego in mode of ignorance. And mind, false ego in mode of goodness. So in that way, everything is created from false ego. Our eyes, nose is also created from false ego. This mobile is also created from false ego. Um, 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 the mind is also created from false ego. The intelligence is also created from false ego. Everything is false ego, actually created from false ego. And false ego comes from prakriti. It's a part of prakriti. Um, so the jiva's body, senses, everything, the cause of all this is prakriti. Yeah, so jiva sanction, the jiva desires, the Lord sanctions, and prakriti move things or any action, prakriti is in control. So it is described how Maya has two features. One is the ingredient cause of Maya. An ingredient cause of Maya is that all the ingredients are also made up of Maya. And one is the efficient cause. Ingredient cause and efficient cause. So ingredient cause is everything that exists is made of Maya. The body also is made of Maya. Everything, the senses, the false ego, the mind, the intelligence, the home, the car, everything is made up of material nature, material energy. This is all external energy of the Lord here, made of everything. So these are the ingredient cause. Maya is the ingredient cause, and Maya is the efficient cause. Efficient cause means the jiva becomes influenced by Maya, and the jiva now wants to enjoy what is made of Maya. The jiva identifies himself with Maya. In a way, he identifies himself with the body, and the jiva wants to interact with other things which are also made up of Maya. And that desire to enjoy, interact and enjoy with various forms of this material nature, um, that what the jiva wants to enjoy is based on the influence of gunas. In mode of goodness, jiva wants to enjoy maybe nature, maybe ocean, farming. In mode of passion, jiva wants to enjoy something else. In mode of ignorance, jiva wants to enjoy something else. So efficient cause is the that which influence the soul and which makes us desire something. And ingredient cause is what exists. So these are two causes of Maya. And hearing this, I mean, naturally it's little technical. This section of Gyan Yoga or Sankhya Yoga a little technical. So Devahuti after this he asked question, Ki, uh, please describe more about this the concept of Purusha and Prakriti, further characteristics of Purusha and Prakriti. So then Lord Kapila starts describing about how the Prakriti manifests itself, how everything comes, what is the beginning point. Um, so are there any questions up till now? Any were we able to follow, understand, or little bit? Not at all.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Padma Mataji, yes.
Prabhuji, one question, Prabhuji. The Jiva desired na Prabhuji and Lord sanction. Then what is the action in that Prakriti action, Prabhuji?
Jiva desire, Lord sanction. Both of them
Yes.
don't work. Like for example, I want a mango. The Lord will sanction that I can have a mango. The mango is made up of Prakriti. Then I walk to the shop to get a mango. That walking, I'm able to walk is also Prakriti in action. I picked up the mango. I got the mango. I ate the mango. I enjoyed the mango, so called enjoyed the mango. Everything is Prakriti in sanction. The super soul sanction, you can enjoy the mango. The Jiva desires, I want a mango. Everything in between is Prakriti.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
We cannot move our body. Prakriti moves our body. Prakriti interacts with Prakriti. Um, the soul only desire, the Lord only sanction. Both of them, like kind of subtle activity. Everything gross activity is Prakriti.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Prabhuji, one question on the same thing. Can a soul desire, Prabhuji? It's all manas, right? Mind, right, Prabhuji?
Desire can come from mind. Desire can come from soul. Desire can come from false ego. Desire can arise through senses. Desire can come from intelligence also. They all can produce desires.
Yes, Prabhuji, but we can feel all other things, Prabhuji, but we cannot experience whether, I mean, at least I cannot experience whether soul is desiring or not.
Yeah, like for example, I want to be Jivera Swarup hoy Krishnera Nitya Das. I want to be eternal servitor of Krishna. This desire is coming from the soul. Spiritual desire, soul produce. Yes,
Okay.
it's originating from the soul, but the soul is covered by mind, man, buddhi, ahankar. So it's permeating through the subtle body and coming to us in a way. But the soul is originating from, I mean, the desire is a spiritual desire is coming from the soul.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
And the soul, um, when the soul becomes influenced by false ego, and the soul thinks that I am this body, then the desire to enjoy through the medium of the body is also soul desiring because of covered by the subtle body in a way. But actually, that desire is more external, coming from the subtle body itself. Contamination.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, bro. Anybody else? Okay. So we discussed about Prakriti. We discussed about Prakriti has two kinds. One is the ingredient cause and one is the efficient cause. The ingredient cause is how everything that exists, um, and the efficient cause is the influence on the jiva to enjoy what exists. Uh, anyways, okay. Um, uh, so then Devahuti asked, "Can you tell me more about Prakriti and Purusha?" So Lord starts speaking about Prakriti, and Lord says Prakriti begins with Pradhan. It's technical, but we will cover it anyhow. So what is Pradhan? Pradhan is the um, comes from the shadow of the Lord. It is the unmanifested material nature, um, um, dormant state of the entire material existence in dormant state. It is said that the Pradhan is unmanifested, it is eternal, it is uh, three modes, also it is the aggregate of the three modes. It's like all the material nature unmanifested or the seed form of material existence is Pradhan. And from that seed slowly the whole material creation will take place. So the root of material creation, which comes from the shadow of the Lord, and that is called Pradhan. uh, it is a cause of Prakriti comes from that. um, okay, then all the 24 elements, um, I'm sure devotees have heard about them. There are five working senses, five knowledge acquiring senses, five Panch Mahabhutas, five object of the senses, and then mind, intelligence, false ego, and consciousness, Chitta. These are 24 elements. They all come from um, Pradhan. So Pradhan is like the dormant original seed form. Everything, whole creation comes from Pradhan. So first, and then there is another element which is called time element, Kala Shakti. So time element is considered as the 25th element, um, and this time element instigate fear of death in the conditioned soul. This time element um, agitates the pradhan, and uh, um, gunas will come and various creation, ahankar will come, mahatattva will come. All this is also by influence of time factor. The Lord glances, mixed with time factor, and then this transformation takes place. And slowly from the seed, the whole material existence starts to, um, you know, yeah, the process starts. Then the Lord exists internally as Paramatma, and the Lord exists externally as Kala Shakti, time factor. Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, time I am, and I have come to destroy everything. The nature of the time factor is time. Time is a destroying energy of Krishna. Everything is destroyed with time. Um, mm, Whatever we use will be destroyed with time. The whole universe will be destroyed with time. Krishna says, I am the time and I have come to destroy everything. I have come to devour everything. There's a Kala Shakti. But this Kala Shakti does not exist in spiritual. It's a material energy of the Lord. And because there is no time, there is no destruction in spiritual world. The bodies are eternal, the dham is eternal. Everything there is truth and eternal, unlike this place. So that's the time. And then what happens? The Lord desires that uh, the living entities, when they fall from the spiritual plane, whether Brahma Jyoti or higher planets, when the Jiva falls down, then the Jiva enters into the body of Mahavishnu. Then the Lord desires to give this living entity a chance to go back to their original state in Vaikuntha planets, in pure consciousness, to get rid of whatever material contamination, conditioned state, and become liberated and go back. The Lord desires that. So the Lord want to give this living entity one more chance. So Lord send all the living entities through his glance into Prakriti or Pradhan. Pradhan is like the root element, manifested by manifestation of Durga Devi, or the in charge of Pradhan, Prakriti, and the whole is Durga Devi. So the Lord, through his glance, transfers the living entity from his womb to Pradhan. And naturally, when the seed enters the mother, um, the womb of the mother becomes agitated. So likewise, Pradhan, and then the Lord, um, 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 by Kala Shakti, when the Lord sent the living entity into the womb of Pradhan, just like how when the mother gets a seed from the father, um, of procreation, then with time factor, the souls develop bodies in a way, and then after 9 months, the living entity comes out. So likewise, when Pradhan is impregnated by the Lord through his glance, that glance is called Lord Shiva also. Um, that's how Shiva and Parvati are called the father and mother of the universe also, because in the womb of Pradhan, all the living entities take shelter, takes material shelter, gets a material body like that. So the Lord impregnates through his glance, sends all the living entity into the Pradhan, and with Kala Shakti and the glance of the Lord, Pradhan becomes agitated. And from Pradhan comes Mahatattva. Mahatattva. What is Mahatattva? So Mahatattva is, um, it is said, it is like a cosmic intelligence, Then it is said it is called Hiranyamaya. It is self-effulgent. When Mahatattva comes, there is effulgence everywhere. After destruction, everything is destroyed. When new creation takes place, everything is dark. But when the Pradhan is impregnated by Jiva Shakti and Kala Shakti, it turns into Mahatattva and there is effulgence everywhere. Um, um, and that effulgence permeates as Shuddha Sattva. Shuddha Sattva Guna or Shuddha Sattva. Um, um, Clear understanding of Lord. It is called Vasudev. Uh, um, it, um, uh, it is like um, Shuddha Sattva is also called like a Vasudev consciousness or pure consciousness. So Mahatattva, effulgent, removes the darkness um, and permeates as Shuddha Sattva, where the Lord can easily be realized. No contamination till Mahatattva. Then uh, its characteristics is pure, clear understanding of the Lord, completely peaceful, complete clarity, freedom from all distraction. Um, so that's yeah, that's this is like characteristics of Mahatattva. And then with Kala Shakti or time energy, the first contamination enters. And the first contamination is called Ahankar. So from Mahatattva, Ahankar is produced. Again, from Pradhan, the living entities are impregnated into Pradhan. With time factor, the Pradhan turns into Mahatattva. Mahatattva state is Vishuddha Sattva or Vasudev consciousness or uh, uh, Sattva consciousness or clear and effulgent and peaceful. And from there comes, with Kala Shakti influence, comes Ahankar. Um, the presiding deity of Ahankar is Sankarshan. And what are the characteristics of Ahankar? Characteristics of Ahankar is um, act as a doer, kartritvam, karanatvam, karyatvam. Um, one thinking oneself as a doer is also Ahankar. One thinking one as an instrument, I am the Karan for something, is also Ahankar, or I am the cause of something. Or one thinking that I am the effect of something, that is also Ahankar, Karyatvam. I am the doer, I am the cause, I am the effect. This is all because of Ahankar. Uh, I produced something. Because of me, this happened. I made this happen. All this, and these are the three characteristics of Ahankar. Okay. So how are we doing? Is it becoming too complex already? अभी तो देखो थोड़ा शुरुआत ही हुआ है. Anyone with me today?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisance for the Shri Prabhupada and Gurudev. Prabhuji, yeah, understanding. Slowly and slowly just sinking in. Actually, I joined in a little bit late, but what you were just talking about, the Matattva, the Pradhan, and the Ahankar, what is contaminating it, understanding that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, then we pronounce. Okay, we'll continue for a few more minutes. Then, so this is Ahankar. Ahankar comes from Mahatattva. The presiding deity of Ahankar is Sankarshan. Actually, there is from Krishna comes Balaram. From Balaram comes Chaturvyuha, which is Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Vasudev, Aniruddha. And from Sankarshan comes Narayan. From Narayan comes Mahasankarshan. And from Narayan comes the second Chaturvyuha, which is Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. And that second layer, or second Chaturvyuha, that Sankarshan is in charge of Ahankar. And from that Sankarshan comes Lord Shiva also. And from that second Chaturvyuha, Aniruddha is in charge of mind. And Pradyumna is in charge of Cupid. And second Chaturvyuha, Vasudev is in charge of soul. Um, and from that Mahasankarshan comes Mahavishnu, who comes in this material existence. All the living entities falls into his womb. He sends them into Pradhan. Pradhan is the material energy of the Lord. Pradhan becomes impregnated, and the process of creation, material creation, begins. And from there comes Mahatattva, Ahankar, and slowly we will see everything will come. And using all these elements, then the universe will be created. And everybody who enters the universe will have the influence of all these things. Mind, intelligence, false ego will have all these influence. Anybody who enters the universe, the conditioned soul, will have all these layers within them. And he starts living that life till he remembers Krishna again and comes out of this material existence. He is in that, yeah, a Shuddha state till that time. So Ahankar is done. Ahankar deity is Sankarshan, comes from Mahatattva. Mm. In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says the living entity is not the doer of the activities, nor does he induce people to act, and nor is he responsible for the results of one activity. All this is all this is enacted by the three modes of material nature. Um, so these are all functions of Prakriti or Ahankar. But the living entity is not responsible for any of these things. Living entity just desires. 14, I think, third chapter, fifth chapter, 14 verse. This thing comes. These are the characteristics of Ahankar. Then from Ahankar, when Ahankar comes in contact with Sattva-guna, from that Manas or mind is created. The in charge of the mind is Anirudh. The mind can be in a pure state. The mind can be in the impure state. So mind has two characteristics. One is Sankalpa and one is Vikalpa. Sankalpa is thinking and Vikalpa is reflecting. Um, Something that has happened, good experience, bad experience, something that the mind wants to do. So he thinks, he reflects. And from Sankalpa and Vikalpa, the mind gives rise to desire. Why went there? It was nice. I want to go again. I went there. It was not nice. I don't want to see those people again. I want to see those people again and again. So in this way, the mind develops desires, um, and the mind either likes something or the mind hates something. Mind loves somebody or mind find fault in somebody. So in this way, um, these are mental loops. Uh, uh, and one can come out of this sankalpa, vikalpa, acceptance, rejection. The mind has this nature: accepting something, rejecting something, liking something, disliking something. These are dualities that arise in the mind, and mind can come out of this. Lord Kapila says when the mind is focused on Lord Aniruddha, because Aniruddha is the in charge of the mind. Or for our case, because Anirudh also comes from Krishna, when the mind is engaged in Krishna, then the mind can go beyond that loop of accepting something, rejecting something, and can become absorbed in remembering Krishna, remembering the qualities of Krishna, pastimes of Krishna. And that's like transcending. But when we are not Krishna conscious, when the mind is not absorbed in Krishna, man mana bhama bhakto, when that is not happening, then mind will work on a material platform, accepting something and rejecting something. So these are the characteristics of mind and how mind can be controlled. Then ahankar in mode of goodness produces manasa mind, and the ahankar, when comes in contact with mode of passion, then give rise to intelligence. The intelligence has 5 characteristics. The first characteristics of intelligence is dravya sphurana vijnana, um, realizing the nature of the object. That is also intelligence. Intelligence does that. Um, 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 so how intelligence does that? When a ball comes into picture, the intelligence is this is a ball. This is what playing. Some sound, some television is going on. Um, 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 some food. This is to be eaten. What is to be eaten? What is to be played with? What is to be careful about? So understanding the nature of object, the nature of electrical wire is different from nature of ball, different from nature of food. So this is the intelligence who helps us in realizing the natures of different objects. So that's one characteristic. Another characteristic or function of intelligence is in indriyanam anugraha, to help the senses. So when senses have some demands, eyes wants to see something, maybe go to some place, or maybe the senses have demand, tongue has some demand. Um, um, Intelligence helps, supports the senses, to help the senses. The senses can just demand, but intelligence has to work how to fulfill the demands of the senses. And intelligence also can tell the senses this is not good for this is good for you. So in this way, under the sense, the intelligence controls the senses or helps the senses. And then samshaya, doubt. Doubt is also the nature of intelligence. Uh, Somebody says something and we like, should I believe it or not? Can I trust them or not? So doubt comes. Srila Prabhupada says to doubt something is natural, but one should not doubt the revealed scriptures. When Krishna says something, when pure devotee says something, we should not doubt those. But otherwise, when we are dealing this word, we must deal with this word with some doubt. That's like intelligence. We cannot be like blind followers or something, because otherwise we may be misguided. That's why we must doubt, but should not doubt the revealed scriptures. And Krishna says about revealed scriptures, Prabhupada mentions purport. Krishna says, for a doubting soul, there cannot be happiness in this world and in the next. If we doubt the revealed scripture, then we are doomed, because then there is no hope. Krishna says, the if one doubts the revealed scriptures, then the hope of self-realization is gone. There is no hope, because then where will you end up in? When Krishna says something you doubt, then stay in this world and keep doing what you are doing. Krishna is giving us direction what to do. When we don't follow, then gone forever. So doubt is good, but not to Krishna and pure devotees of the Lord. Then another function of intelligence is called misapprehension. Two other functions, and correct apprehension. Misapprehension is misunderstanding and correct understanding. So distinguishing that. So how it is used, like intelligence should use to discern that I am a spiritual being and I'm not this physical body. Misunderstanding is I am this body. Misunderstanding is I can enjoy in this manner. Correct understanding is I am separate, and what I'm interacting with and the thoughts, it's all temporary and illusory. The only reality, Saraswati Thakur says, the soul is a reality, the name of the Lord is reality. Everything else is illusion. I am eternal, Krishna is eternal, Krishna's name is eternal, this relationship is eternal. Everything else in this world is illusory. So this is like distinguishing correct understanding from misunderstanding. That is also sign of intelligence. To be able to see that is also sign of intelligence. We need intelligence. We need the help of intelligence to be able to perceive this world in a right direction. And It's, of course, it is possible only by the mercy of the Lord. Then another sign of intelligence is memory. Prabhupada describes memory. Memory as not like how many math equations we can solve. That is like material intelligence. But this memory is like we can remember, um, we can be grateful to those who has helped us in our spiritual life. We can remember them. We can remember also the pain I have caused to others, and then be be sorry for that, the pain I have caused to others, and take a humble position for those. And we, yeah. So this is like uh, to be able to remember that is also a sign of good intelligence. Then last function of intelligence is sleep. Um, Prabhupada says if we sleep too little, we become crazy, too much, become lazy. We need sufficient rest, because Prabhupada says if the rest is not sufficient, then we cannot function properly. So to be able to ascertain this much sleep I need so I can function. If I don't get, then my head will start aching. So proper sleep is also a sign of good intelligence. Prabhupada said, you stretch yourself so much that you work very hard without any sleep for 3 days, and then for 7 days you become sick. Prabhupada said, what is the benefit then? What is the point? You work 3 days and you became sick for 7 days. So what do you need? You get. That is also sign of intelligence. You take it. So from ahankar comes in mode of goodness comes manasa, which is in charge is Aniruddha, who desires based on reflections and thoughts and accept something and reject something, can be overcome by absorption in Lord Anirudh or Lord Krishna. Then buddhi is false ego, ahankar in rajoguna, and it has these 5 characteristics. One is to understand the nature of the objects. One is uh, to help the senses. One is to doubt. One is to have the correct understanding. One is to remove the misunderstanding. One is memory, and one is proper rest. Six actually. These are the 6 characteristics of intelligence. And then from ahankar, in the mode of passion, comes 2 things. One is intelligence that we just saw, and also comes the senses. The senses are of 2 types. There is knowledge acquiring senses, and there is um, working senses. Knowledge acquiring senses is eyes. We acquire knowledge of this word. Through tongue, we acquire knowledge of this word. Through nose, we acquire knowledge of this word. Through sense of touch and through ears. These are 5 knowledge acquiring senses and 5 working senses. Through mouth, we are working. Like right now, I'm speaking. So through mouth, we are working. Through hand, we are working. Through leg, we work. And through anus and genitals. These are the 5 knowledge and 5 working senses. Though these total 10 senses, they also come from ahankar in rajoguna. Um, um, the working senses, they are dependent upon vital energy. Vital energy means energy of the body, the vital energy. Suppose if we are very weak, then we cannot walk, we cannot speak also, um, we cannot work hard also. So the working senses are dependent upon vital energy, whereas the knowledge acquiring senses are dependent upon intelligence. And we saw that in the function of intelligence is to help the senses, and that is the knowledge acquiring sense. We may be very weak, but the eyes can see, the ears can hear. Vital force may not be there much, still the senses can act. But if vital force is not there, then we cannot work. So the knowledge acquiring senses are dependent upon intelligence, and the working senses are dependent upon the vital energy. Then through ahankar, just we will do this last part now. Through ahankar, in mode of goodness, sattvagun comes man, ahankar rajogun comes buddhi, ahankar rajogun comes indriya, and there are 10 kinds of indriya. And then from ahankar in tamogun, when it interacts, it gives rise to sound. Um, Sound. Sound conveys the idea of the object through sound. You can through you just eyes are closed, you hear, and seems like the heater is on. Seems like this particular person is speaking. So through sound, you can understand the object. Um, mm, it seems like some traffic is there, some main road is there. Seems like it's a horn. So in this way, convey the idea of the object just by the sound. Um, then Srila Prabhupada also says, from sound comes everything. The whole universe is created by sound. The material existence comes by sound. And by sound, the material existence can be dissolved. By the sound, everything material is created. And by sound, everything can be dissolved, and we can see the spiritual aspect of everything, the deeper aspect of everything through sound, through for us through Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then from sound comes ether. Ether provides space for living entities. Um, um, provides space for everything. Even ether is space. Ether is sky. How it is described, ether is space, ether is sky. How it is described is uh, um, like Krishna says, just as air rests under the sky, likewise all living entities rest on me. um, Ether provides space. Earth, water, everything lies in the ether. Living entities lies in the ether. Space for living entities externally and internally. um, and because of ether only, within the body also ether is there, outside also ether is there, within the body also space is there. Body can the space, and in that space we have mind, we have breathing, air is going, and all these things are happening because the space is provided. So ether is like provide space for everything. Externally also everything is existing under ether. Internally also everything is existing under ether. And that ether comes from sound, and from ether comes that touch sensation. And touch sensation has four characteristics: heat and cold, soft and hard. Through this, the touch sensation can distinguish different things. Then from touch sensation comes air. So basically, first comes the sense object, and then comes the element. So from sound comes ether. From touch comes air. Uh, um, Air, the function of air is um, air leads the sense objects to the senses. Air, like we smell a rose, suppose. So the smell of the rose, air brought that smell of the rose to us. So sense object we can perceive through the medium of air in one way. So leading sense object to the senses. Then air gives life to the senses also. Air mix things within the environment. Different things comes and mixes. Uh, Air helps to carry things from one place to another. Air. Um, Actually, because of Prabhupada says, because of air only the airplanes are moving. Because of air only birds can fly. So movement is made possible. Because of air only we can walk. If there is no air, we cannot walk actually. We propels the air behind. So moving is possible because of air. The senses get sense object because of air. Um, and internally, because of airflow through breathing, because of airflow, the senses are active. So the life to the senses is also provided by the air. Air is within and air is outside. Um, um, then from air comes the form. When air does not have a form, but when air starts to take a form and something that is like bound by dimension, air no dimension everywhere, but when the air starts to develop a dimension and individuality of something, then that is the form. And from the form comes fire. Fire illuminates. By the help of fire we can see the form. Without the fire we cannot even see the form. Illumination. By fire we can cook. By fire we can digest. By fire we can destroy the cold. By fire we can evaporate. Fire give rise to hunger. Fire give rise to thirst. By fire eating is possible, and because of fire only drinking is possible. um, But then we cook, we digest everything we do through fire, but there is no taste. So from fire comes the taste element. Taste. Taste is one, just like how Paramatma is one and existing in all living entity. Likewise, taste is one, but taste becomes manifest in manifold. Sweet, bitter, pungent, sour, salty, astringent. These are six kind of taste. But although the taste is one, and the taste is made possible because of water. So Prabhupada says the tongue, if there is no water, we cannot taste anything. Because of water on the tongue, we can taste sweet, sour because of the water element. So that's why the characteristics of water is taste. So first taste comes, but taste is not possible without water. From taste comes water. And water, moistening, function of water moistening, making balls, cause satisfaction. When something is not juicy, it's very dry, does not gives burning sensation. The water causing satisfaction gives life, relieves thirst, softens something hard, extinguish the heat, and yeah, these are the characteristics of water. Um, mm, but water can only taste, but the um, nose cannot smell anything. And so from there, slowly, when we start to smell something, the smell element comes from water. Mm. Although the smell is also one, it also has many characteristics like mixed, foul smell, fragrant smell, mild smell, strong smell, acidic smell, according to substances it associates with. Um, mm, um, and the smell is the characteristics of the earth. Um, and earth is a place where all living entities are sustained. Earth can be modeled into a deity form. Earth provides a place of residence. Earth provides accommodating power like a pots. So because of earth, we can accommodate water in something. Water is there, but to accommodate water, we need earth in something. Or food accommodate something. Pots can accommodate. That is also earth. Um, Earth manifest differences in all beings. All living entities looks different now because of earth element. Power to manifest differences in all beings. This is a bird. This is the earth element is there. Okay, so we discussed about, yes, that's all we discussed today. We discussed about the elements. We discussed about Pradhan, Mahatattva, Ahankar. From Ahankar in Sattva Gun comes Manas. We discussed the characteristics of mind. From Ahankar in Rajagun comes Buddhi. We discussed the six characteristics of intelligence. From Ahankar comes in Rajogun senses. We discussed five knowledge acquiring senses, five working senses, and they're dependent upon either intelligence or vital energy. Then we discuss how from Ahankar in Tamoguna comes sound, and we discuss from how sound comes ether, and how um, from subtle comes gross, from smell comes earth, I give this common example. Rose, does smell comes from the rose, or does the rose comes from the smell? So based on how Lord Kapila explains, rose comes from the smell. From smell comes earth. From does water has a taste, or does taste give rise to water? Taste give rise to water. How from subtle comes the gross elements? First comes subtle, then comes gross. The whole creation is from subtle to gross, and the whole spiritual life is going from gross to subtle, and material life is going from subtle to gross, more and more gross. That's why higher planets, the pleasure is subtler. Lower planets, the pleasure is gross, more and more gross. Lower planets. Okay. Uh, so are there any question? We discuss first 50 verses of the chapter. How do we know desire is from soul or mind? How do we know desire is from soul or mind? The mind desire is external. Mind desire is based on previous experiences. Mind desire is based on repeating pleasurable experiences. The soul's desire are spiritual. Like I was saying that how I want to be an eternal servant of Krishna. This is the desire of the soul. But I want to eat that. I like something which is more manifested externally. Those are desires of the mind. There was one question in chat. Okay, so anybody would like to ask any question? Okay, so I guess.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Prabhuji, nice class. I want to know, like, sometimes mind can also manipulate us. Okay, I want to serve the Krishna, but there are strings attached with that. So then it is coming from soul or it's coming from mind? Because sometimes, like, oh, we need to serve the Krishna, but it's not coming from the purity. It's coming from because of a lot of strings attached. So in that case, how do you see, Prabhuji?
Yeah, it's many times it's mixed, Prabhuji, and it's we cannot say it's pure. Um, it can be intellectual desire. It cannot be desire which is coming from the soul, but I know this is good for me, and that's intelligence. And that intellectual desire is actually Paramatma guided, Prabhu, because Paramatma acts through intelligence. Um, and many times it is hard to um, see our pure desires. The pure desire will manifest when the subtle body becomes purified. Then the pure desires of the soul will start coming out. And till that comes out, we guide our life based on Shastra and Guru. And that's how we know that the soul desires it. Although because the subtle body is covering the soul, the desire may not be very strong because of the subtle body. But I know that this is the real desire of the soul. And when we start doing it, the soul starts to come out further and further. And the subtle body starts to become more and more transparent. So we can see ourselves more. But the real desire of the soul come when we realize ourselves, who we are, what is my relationship, how I am serving Krishna in spiritual world. Those are like the real desires of the soul. Those are the real activities of the soul when the soul goes back.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So yeah, I understand. But what I'm trying to say, Prabhuji, until and unless we have anarthas, all six anarthas, haunting us and within us. We are not purified within. Then I think our desires will always be with some kind of attachment or strings attached. Once we are
Yes.
at that Vishuddha Sattva state, only then only we can recognize, yeah, these desires are, coming from soul. And do we really need to think about on those lines, or we should only focus on our process provided by the Prabhupada and our previous Acharya?
Yeah. So the real desire will awaken eventually, Prabhuji. The soul's desire will awaken eventually. Um, we we follow the process. Yes. Please follow the process.
Good, good. Hare Krishna. Yeah, that's what I was trying to think on this, contemplate, like, because with too much thinking on those lines, maybe will not solve the problem. The problem is anarthas, that we are thinking that we are this body and we need to, until unless we will not follow the process, things will not work out. That's what I was thinking in my mind when you were giving the class. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Well, this is not our path. This is our Gyan path. So our path is just devotional service. But Devahuti is eager to understand the analytical study of this material world and how everything comes. So Lord Kapila has explained. And I'm repeating what Lord Kapila has explained.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, I think we'll end here. My obeisances to all of you. Thank you for joining. Vanchakalpatarubhesha Kripasindhu Devacha Patitanam Pavane Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Nantapoti Vaishnavibhyo. Thank you for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you.
Prabhuji. Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dhanwad pranam,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Dhanwad.
Thank you very much. Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.